Do I look cool with this jacket? Because I'm kind of going for like a Bane from Dark Knight Rises look. No, that's a joke, but I wanted to do something different because I'm always just wearing plain old shirts. So I was like, what should I do for this review? And I was like, I'll put on a sweater just to be different. But yeah, if you're wondering why I do this a lot, it's because I don't know. I always do that. Even when my hair's short, I always do that. I don't know why. I've always done that. Like, see, so I do that a lot. I do that in my real life. I do that in these reviews. I don't even notice that I'm doing them anymore. Sometimes I'll go back and I watch my old reviews. I'm like, why the fuck? Anyways, before we get into Spider-Man, we're gonna talk about another movie I saw, which is Little Mermaid. Because if I made a review for that movie, it'd be like a minute long. So let's talk about it now. Halle Bailey was good. Melissa McCarthy was good. Um, Halle Bailey was a good Ariel. Every time she sung, I was like, wow, she is incredible. You know, and Poor Unfortunate Souls and Part of Your World were both pretty well done. Even Under the Sea was pretty good. But other than that, it was pretty boring and bad. And the whole time I was like, I kind of wish I was just watching the original. So yeah, 5 out of 10, sure. Enough with that. That's enough of that movie. Now we're talking about Spider-Man. I hate Man of Steel. I hate that movie, and I have a shirt that was fucking. Can you believe that? Anyways, so Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. My bad. So I've been excited for this movie for a long time, and it's finally here. Into the Spider-Verse is one of my favorite movies. It's probably my favorite superhero movie. It's one of my favorite animated movies. It's incredible. It looks beautiful. It's funny. It's great. Everything you've heard on the internet the past 4 years, it's completely right. It is a great movie. So I'm just gonna jump right into this one. Um, I gotta tell you, this whole year has been kind of shitty. Like a lot of the movies that I've seen have either just been like good but not great, or just flat out like bad or underwhelming. You know, like there were like 2 movies I saw in the theater this year I didn't even review. I didn't review Dungeons and Dragons, and I didn't review Little Mermaid because I was like, I don't have anything to say about them. You know. And even if a movie's bad, I would love to have a lot to say about it, you know? So I like Scream 6, I like Guardians 3, I liked John Wick. I can't think of anything else right now that really made. I guess Mario was good, but everything else that I've seen, I've just been like, it's fine. And Mario, I don't even know if that shit was good. I think I just liked it because I like Mario, so I don't even know. But anyways, um, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is an absolutely phenomenal movie. It is. I know we're only in May, but it is so far the best movie I've seen this year. I'm sure as the year goes on and more of the Oscar movies come out, I'm gonna be like, okay. But for right now, this is my favorite movie of the year. Um, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is a perfect sequel. It is a great Spider-Man movie. It is an amazing comic movie, and it made me realize that like people always talk about superhero fatigue. Superhero fatigue is not a thing. Boring superhero movie fatigue, that's a thing. When you keep releasing shit like Ant-Man, Quantumania, and Shazam 2, and fucking Black Adam, when you keep releasing shit like that, then yeah, people are gonna be like, fuck, these movies are bad now. It's not we're getting tired of superhero movies, it's superhero movies are getting worse. That's the issue. And between this and Guardians 3, um, I hope it proves to people like as long as they're good superhero movies, like I don't have like I'm not gonna get tired of them as long as they're good, you know. I gotta tell you something. Um, Guardians 3, I felt like kind of an asshole after I uploaded that video because every single video or review I see online, people are like, "This movie is incredible. This movie is great. It's awesome. It made me cry." And I'm like, maybe I'm just an asshole. Maybe I just like was I wrong? Was I watching the movie wrong? And then everybody around me is like, we cried. And then I was like, man, I'm just a cold hearted bastard. I didn't cry. But you'll be happy to know that this movie made me tear up twice. I wasn't like sobbing or anything. I wasn't like crying my eyes out like I was with that Last of Us episode with Bill and Frank. But I did tear up a few times. twice. And one of the things that made me tear up was a scene that's literally in the fucking trailer. So like, I don't know. But anyway, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The first one was incredible. Like I just said, I loved it. I love the animation and the characters and the emotion, the soundtrack, everything about it was great. And this movie, no disrespect to the first Spider-Verse movie, because as I just said, it is a masterpiece in its own right. But this movie it makes that movie look just so much smaller. Like it and like not I don't want to say worse, but it makes that first movie look like an appetizer. You know, it's like and this movie is like the first half of a really great meal. I knew going into this movie that it was the first half, and we'll get into that in a bit. But god damn, this movie makes the first one like, oh shit, that was really small. I mean, it's still an amazing movie, but like, man, this movie is just better. Like everything it does is just better. You know, it's got more heart and emotion, and that's saying a lot. The characters are written better. The writing in general was just better. The animation was already like a game changer in the first one, and this one it's just flat out insane. Um, I'm gonna gush about this movie for a bit, but before we do, I want to get into some complaints. Number one, the biggest complaint I have with this movie is the sound mixing. The sound mixing in this movie is fucking terrible. Like, it is awful. There are multiple parts in the film, mostly during action scenes or scenes where there's a lot of like background music, where the characters are talking and they sound very faint. You can't hear them. They sound just they just sound like they're far away, and it doesn't it's not good. Like it's so bad. Like you're just like Jesus Christ, you know? Like the whole time I was just like Jesus, fucking like I thought it was just my theater. I was like maybe the theater fucked up, but I went online after, and no, a lot of people were having issues like hearing the dialogue in the film. And there are scenes in this movie where the action's happening and there's dialogue going on and the dialogue is important. There's one scene where they have like a reveal during an action scene and you can't let and you're like I'm having trouble like fucking hearing what they're saying because of the action. Like what the fuck? Who fucked up the sound mixing in this movie? Cuz you can like I like Spider-Punk, I had no idea what the fuck he was saying the entire time, genuinely. Like I think I caught maybe like 3 of his lines. I swear to god, I'm not making this up. I was like I don't know what the fuck you're saying. I really don't. That is my biggest issue with this movie, and unfortunately, it really hurts a lot of the movie. I'm not saying it was incomprehensible. I'm not saying that like, oh fuck, you know, like it ruins the whole movie because I could still understand. With the exception of Spider Punk, I could still hear. I understood what they were saying, but at the same time, I was like, can you just turn it up a little bit, you know, or turn down the action a little bit, the volume of that? Just please fix it for streaming. Please, when this movie comes to streaming, please, 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 please fix it. Because holy shit, I haven't seen a movie with mixing this bad since fucking Dunkirk. Dunkirk, I could not hear shit in that movie either. Well, I could. I couldn't hear what the fuck they were saying. That is my biggest issue. Um, but the rest of the movie is absolutely incredible. Miles Morales is such a wonderful character, and the first act of this, maybe not the first, yeah, the first act of this movie is like is basically it has Spider-Man stuff in it, but it's mostly a family drama, and I love that. Like the mom from the first movie who like had like nothing to do. I think she had like maybe like 11 lines in the first one. In this one, she gets so much more to do, and I think that's great. I really liked her in the movie. Um, really loved how the film opened. It opens up with Spider-Gwen's backstory. Sorry. I could have edited that out, but I'm not going to. Anyway, so I really like Gwen Stacy in this movie. It's almost like the movie. Honestly, the movie feels like it's like 51% about Gwen and 49% about Miles. Maybe it's not, but that's just how it felt like to me. I know that's a small difference, but I don't know. Like I really like what they did with Gwen in this movie. I feel like they really gave her a lot more to do than I thought they would, and I like that. I'm really happy with that. And like I said, Miles, like I love his character. He's just a really well done character of his type, which is like a 15-year-old kid who is a superhero. Like that kind of thing is done a lot. Like I think Miles Morales is a much better, at least in this series of movies. I think he's a much better and more interesting character of this type than uh like Invincible. Like I think Miles is a much better character than Mark Grayson. Like I find Miles much more interesting. Um, you know, but yeah, I thought they were great. And the meat of this movie, maybe not the meat, but like the big advertising part is that this movie has a lot of spider people in it. A lot. And you're gonna be surprised. Like I thought that I kind of figured every spider person that was gonna be in it based on the marketing material and the trailers and the posters and all that. But the movie actually got a few surprises out of me. Like I had a few cameos where I was like, oh shit, like that's pretty cool, you know? I'm not gonna say them here, but when you see the movie you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, and some of them aren't even spider people. One in particular I was like, that's awesome. And the movie also goes into a lot of different universes, and the animation is so much more varied in this one than there is in the first one. Like in this one they have like stuff, they have some live action stuff. They have some, I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say it's like it's animation but not done in a computer kind of stuff. I swear to God, I think there was like a claymation scene or something, you know. Um, it was really awesome. It was really great, and it wasn't just style over substance, you know. Like the Spider People are there for fan service, but the idea of you know this world, this multiverse with all these Spider People actually is important to the plot and has an emotional like core to it. Um, I'm not gonna get into spoilers right now. I will in a bit, but for right now, um, yeah, I just loved the hell out of this movie, and it's kind of hard to talk about without spoilers. Let's go through some other characters. Miguel O'Hara and Jessica Drew really annoyed the fuck out of me. Like they were just both like like I not like that they were badly written or anything because they were actually really well written. Jessica Drew was really cool. Miguel O'Hara was really cool. But throughout the movie, I was just like, man, fuck these people. Like these two suck. I would never want to hang out with them. Like all the other Spider people, I would love to hang out with them. But Miguel O'Hara and Jessica Drew, they seem like they'd be the most like fucking unfun people to hang out with. They're both so fucking like stick in the muds, you know. I'm like, Jesus, what is their problem? I mean, I understand the problem, but I was like, man, fuck these guys. Miles, you know, hey, Miles, fuck these guys. Do your own thing, man. That's what I was thinking throughout the movie. Fuck these guys. Um, Spider Punk, man, everybody loves Spider Punk, and I gotta watch this movie again with subtitles. And I guarantee you, when I do, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, Spider Punk is awesome. I caught a few of his lines, and they were pretty good. From what I heard of him, he was pretty great. um, Spider-Man India. I know that's not his like official name, but that's the name of him like on Wikipedia. So I was like, oh, he was really fun and likable. They did it. They made the first Spider-Man that doesn't have depression, which is pretty cool. Um, he was great. Uh, yeah, I just so one character that I was a little not mad about or anything. But Peter B. Parker from the first one comes back, played by Jake Johnson, who's on that show New Girl that I've never seen. Um, he he I feel like they made him a little dumber than he was in the first one. I get that in the first one he's in a really rough patch of his life, so of course he would act differently now that things have improved for him. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know. He feels very different, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it just feels like they kind of dumbed him down a little bit. Like some of the jokes in this movie that involve him are just like laughing at how dumb he is, and I was like, it's a little weird. And um, this isn't really a complaint, but I heard Ben Riley was going to be in the movie, and I got really excited. And he's in it, but he's not like important. I kind of wish he was because I love him. He's such an asshole. No, but yeah, I'm trying to think of what to say before I get into spoilers, you know, because I kind of have to tiptoe around everything. This isn't a spoiler, but the movie does end on a cliffhanger. It doesn't have really. It's not even like a cliffhanger. It's just like it's really it does. It didn't even feel like a cliffhanger to me. It felt more like a stopping before the third act kind of thing. You know, that's what it felt like to me. Um, and I was just kind of like, oh well, you know, I'm not like disappointed because I knew this going in, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, a lot of people are gonna be unsatisfied. I was unsatisfied, but in a good way. I was like really getting into it, and I was like, please don't end. I know this movie ends on a cliffhanger, but please just give me like 5 more minutes. And then it's like to be continued, and I was like, fuck, oh come on, damn it, fuck, please, you could have come on, just like I was like a crack addict. I was like, please, just one more hit, just one more, and then we're good. When in reality, I would have been like, okay, can I have another 5 minutes after that? I tell you what, this movie's long. This movie's like for an animated movie, it's pretty long. I think it's the longest animated movie ever produced in America. Um, it's like 2.5 hours or something, and uh, I mean, I didn't feel it, um, and I was just really riveted throughout all of it. I really loved it. Um, and honestly, if they told me like, hey, Spider Verse 3 is playing in the theater across the hall, I would have walked right in. Honestly, yeah, I loved the hell out of this movie. It was incredible. I love a good. I gotta tell you, I love a good cliffhanger ending. You know, I love when something ends and you're not in like a cheap like season 6 of The Walking Dead kind of way, but like and I love cliffhangers that are like setups where you're like, oh shit, I can't wait to see this in the next one. You know, yeah, I love and the setup they have for the next one when they show it, like it's like literally like the last thing you see in the movie when they show what they're setting up. I was like, man, I cannot fucking wait for March 29th, 2024. Put me in a coma and wake me up on that day so I can go see Spider-Man because I can't wait that long, man. I need part 3 like now. I need it now. All right. Jesus Christ. So we fucking rolled. Was there anything? Oh, the spot, the spot. So I knew he was in the movie because of the trailers, but I didn't know he was the villain. Like I thought he would be like a funny little opening scene thing, and then he'd be out. But he's the villain of the movie, and I thought he was great. Like he's played by Jason Schwartzman, who is just hilarious. Um, and I love how he goes from like this joke of a villain, where you're like, man, this guy's a fucking loser. By the end of it, you're like, this man needs to be stopped. Like we need to do something about this man. And fuck, I had a point. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like his origin is really funny, but also really sad. And I was kind of looking at him like, you know, if that happened to me, I'd probably become a supervillain too. Like that shit sucks. I'm sorry, man. But he does get more dangerous throughout the movie, and there's just some scenes of him by himself where he's just like going around dimensions that are super entertaining. You know, and I can't wait to see him in the next one. He's not even in like the second half of the movie, which is a little weird, but I guess that's just how it is with the movie being a part 1. I gotta tell you, this is not like a complete movie, you know? Like Infinity War is a complete movie to me. You know, like it has a beginning, middle, and it has an ending. You know, it has a big climactic ending. You know, this is more like, or even Kill Bill 1. Like Kill Bill 1 makes you want to watch the second one, but it's also just a great experience on its own, you know? This was more like Dune, where by the end of Dune, I was like, well, goddamn, I watched a story without an ending. I guess I gotta wait 2 years for that ending. But I thought this was better than Dune because I thought this was more of a. I enjoyed this experience more than Dune because Dune Part One, it's like the first. It feels like I'm watching something where it's like it's completely dependent on the second half, which is not here yet. So judging it on its own, it's like I can't really do that because I need to wait for the second half. With this, I'm like, yeah, I need to wait for the second half, but it's still a great experience on its own as a film. I'm not saying Dune wasn't. I'm just saying that this felt more to me like I felt like I just emotionally got more into it. And no spoilers, but for Gwen Stacy, I felt like it was almost her movie, you know? And she had an arc throughout the movie that I felt like, obviously there's still more to do with her, but I was still like, you know what? Like, if you just see this as a Gwen movie, it's pretty satisfying, you know? It has payoff. I didn't just pick my nose. I know it looked like that, but I'm not. I was just doing this because it was itchy. I don't pick my nose. That's gross. Um, let's get into some spoilers now. If you haven't seen this movie, which go see this fucking movie, then get the fuck out. Leave. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. Get the fuck out. I'm just kidding. I do want to see you. Please come back after you watch the movie. All right, you're back. Let's get into some spoilers. Prowler? Donald Glover? That was fucking awesome. Anyways, so yeah, the canon events. During that scene, I was like, you know what? Every time I go through a really hard experience in my life, I'm gonna call it a canon event and not trauma. That's a good. I'm just kidding. Yeah, my next breakup, I'm gonna be like, oh, canon event. I just got dumped, but you know what? It builds character. What the fuck am I even talking about? What was I saying? Oh yeah. So one of the things that I thought about throughout the movie was, damn, I really miss Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker, and Spider-Ham. They were really great in the first one, and I miss them, and it's a little weird that they're not in this one. And then at the end, when they reveal that they're part of the new Spider Crew that Spider-Gwen has made, I was like, yes, they're gonna be in the next one. I'm so excited to hear Nicolas Cage and John Mulaney and, you know, as those characters. Spider-Man Noir is my favorite, like, Spider-Man variant that's not Peter Parker. I've always thought he was awesome, and I'm happy I get to see him again. I didn't pick my nose again. I scratched it. What the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah. So the chase scene in this movie was really great. Like it was really well animated and well done. However, a part of me did wonder. I was like, it's a little. I know this is an animated movie, but it's a little implausible to me that Miles Morales, like 200,000 Spider-Men. Like how many fucking people? I don't know. Well, sorry for that long pause. There was like a thing on my camera that I could edit this out, but I'm not going to. I want you guys to see the behind the scenes. Anyways, so what the fuck was I saying? Oh my god, take a shot every time I lose myself in this video. Right, so I was excited to see them. Love the villain spot. Thought Miles was great. Love the twist at the end with the alternate Miles and the Prowler. That was pretty awesome. And yeah, I just really excited for that third one. Really can't wait. Just gonna be there opening night. Yeah, hopefully they fix the sound mixing for the fucking streaming. Although on streaming I could just put on subtitles, but still, like, I don't, come on. Yeah, this movie made me cry, and if you're wondering what scenes, it was number one, the scene where Gwen was talking to her dad at the end, and number two, the scene where Miles' mom was telling him all this shit about you need to be loved or whatever. I'm saying it like dismissively, but I was crying like a bitch in that scene. So I did not cry at Guardians 3, but I did cry at this. So I want you all to know that I'm not a completely heartless bastard. Yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a 9. I think it's really great. I think maybe once the third one comes out and we see the full picture, like this whole trilogy, it could bump up to a 10. But I don't like to give movies 10 unless I've seen them twice, you know. But yeah, I could totally see this movie again. I probably will. This is the best Marvel movie I've seen in years. This is the best superhero movie I've seen in years. I absolutely love it. I think it's a masterpiece. And y'all should go see it. Yeah, this movie is great. It looks amazing. I love how dark it is. I love everything about it. Yeah. And even the fact that it didn't have an ending, I'm like, you know what? That's totally cool because that just makes me more excited for the third one. You know. Thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you.